some may not approve of what I have to say about finding sparks in education. Some may say that if you teach in higher ed and you want to discover new ways of teaching a subject, you are better off reading the latest periodicals. And some may say that it's imperative that you have lengthy roundtable discussions with your peers on the topic. And while I agree that all these things are good ways of generating new ideas, I do think that if you try moving to a new kind of environment once in a while, that you are going to spark creative ideas. Now, what kind of environment am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about environments that inspire play and discovery, and that may not happen here. I'm talking about environments where you can let your guard down and enjoy the experience. And I'm also talking about environments where you can get excited about your work. It's something different, it's something new. So tonight I'm going to show you 2 examples of how our group of instructional designers went outside of where we work at Golden Gate University and went into an environment to see if we could find new ideas. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce you to the group of instructional designers that I work with. And we pride ourselves on taking creative action. That's my boss on the far left, and it was she who was courageous enough to come up with the idea about leaving the campus and going somewhere new to see if it would spark new ideas and that we could apply them to our online course development. So we explored numerous exhibits, and I'm going to tell you about my absolute favorite one. This took place in a dimly lit room, and we all went inside of there. And the idea here was to have the mama polar bear on the left side meet her baby, who is in the upper right-hand side, but you can't quite see it in the picture. And as you can see, the ice floes are separated, so they can't quite make it together unless they're all solid. And the reason they are separated is because of global warming. So the exercise in this exhibit was to work as a group to block the sun's rays and allow the ice to solidify so mother and baby could unite. And what was interesting about this exhibit was no one individual could block the suns. We all had to work as a group in order to make this happen. So we came away with 2 ideas for our online coursework. One was that when you're designing a course and you're presenting in material, sometimes introduce an emotional hook, because it will get the student to care about what's going on in the material that you're presenting. And when you care about something, you're more engaged and you're likely to perform better. The second idea that we came from this was try to design homework so that it takes a group to come to a solution, not an individual. And that way you would really teach the value of teamwork. So you can see that coming up with creative sparks is not just about brainstorming in your typical room, but by moving out into some unlikely places. So take Toastmasters, for example. We're here in this room and we learn from each other, and we're lucky enough to have speakers that come to speak to us, to teach us things. But what do we learn outside of this room? Some of you have suggested, go take a look at a storyteller. Go see a stand-up comedian. Go observe a docent at a museum and see how she leads people about the room? How about going a step further from this? What can your own kids tell you about presenting in public? Have you ever looked at your daughter at show and tell, presenting this big jar of wiggly worms, and she's so excited about her subject matter that she forgets to be scared? How about, okay, you might think this is a little far out, but how about going to the zoo? Can the animals out there tell us something about public speaking? Perhaps the peacock who's very self-assured because he's wearing the best of attire? Or how about the gorilla and the way he really grabs your attention? So take a chance. Get out of your head. Go explore beyond these 4 white walls. Chances are that your best creative sparks are going to be found in the most unlikely of places.